Hello everyone and welcome back. This is episode number 6 of our Football Manager 2017 Big Six experiment. And there you go, as expected, Liverpool Man City are the top two. Liverpool with the game in hand over Man City to go top. So the champions will go through without having to play the grueling playoffs. But for teams like Liverpool Man City, it's not going to be quite so grueling to play against the likes of Forest Green, Eastleigh and Barrow, who looking very likely is going to be one of them who are going to get into the playoffs with them. Let's have a look who they've been losing to. So, Man City lost 2-1 at home to Bromley. How the bloody hell did they manage that? I can't remember if they actually did that in the last episode or not. Liverpool lost to Boreham Wood. So it just goes to show that these smaller teams are slowly, I wouldn't say so much that they're slowly catching up, but City and Liverpool are slowly falling behind maybe. Liverpool drew with Tamworth, and Man City have drawn with York and Chester. And I think in the first couple of seasons, I don't recall things like that happening too often. So, I don't know. It's the 2nd of Feb, so there would have been some transfer activity. Obviously in the January transfer window, because we skipped right through it. And let's see if we can do it by just the January ones. No. But you can see on the dates here, I don't think there's really been anything in January, because it would be in 2019. So, Liverpool sold a small player to Coventry. So you see, there hasn't really been a lot of transfer activity in the January window. But you see, a lot of players have moved on from Man City and Liverpool during this season. So you're just going to wonder how are they replacing these players? Do they need to replace those players? Are they saving their money, ready for when they get back to the Premier League? Because they will have a lot of good youngsters that would have come through by now that could still win them these leagues comfortably. It's the strategy. How do they strategize this? Do they keep some of their bigger players but run the risk of going bankrupt from having to pay their wages? Are they getting the attendances? That's what the interesting things are. I mean, obviously we had a look at United and they were getting 73,000 in the conference, so you can imagine that their attendances are still going to be high. But anyway, let's move on to League Two and see how Chelsea and Tottenham are getting on. Okay, so there you go. You can see League Two, Chelsea are currently leading the way. Tottenham are behind, but they got 8 games in hand. Tottenham obviously had a good cup run last season. I think they won the FA Cup, and they've managed to get themselves into Europe, so that's why they're a little bit behind on that. They lost to Carlisle at home, and they drew against Rochdale. So Chelsea have drawn with Crawley, but lost twice to Tottenham. So looking at that, you'd think Tottenham 8 games in hand. And if they win all 8 of those games, because they played Chelsea twice, they're more than capable of winning all 8 of those games. Tottenham could go up as league winners. Now, let's see if they did any dealings in January. Okay, so all this is 2018, 2019. Okay, so Chaloba's gone to Villa, and that looks to be the only significant piece of business done. So a pretty quiet transfer window for these big 6 teams. I'll tell you something, the money that they'll have is astronomical. Absolutely mental, the amount of money that they'll have, because of all these players they've sold, the amount of money that they have. I mean, looking at it, a lot of them have moved on a lot more cheaply than you'd expect them to. That's probably because of the division that they're in, because what Football Manager does is set the prices for certain reputations by the division that they're in. So being in League Two, someone of a big reputation will only be worth about 10 million. Like we can see David Luiz, I know Iheanacho's obviously moved on for that amount. That's only because Chelsea were pushed for that amount. But you can see Courtois, Batshuayi, they've all gone for peanuts really, considering especially David Luiz. But anyway, let's go and see how Arsenal and Man United are getting on in League One. Okay, so it's looking pretty much inevitable that they're going to finish as the top 2. Man United the only one to lose some games so far. Obviously, they've lost to Arsenal. They've also lost to Portsmouth and Coventry. Arsenal haven't lost any, but they have drawn against some of these smaller clubs. So some of these smaller clubs are actually starting to do pretty well. But in League One, you're going to start seeing, our bigger teams drop a couple of points here and there, because these clubs, obviously, you've seen upsets in the cups and things like that. These clubs have actually beaten them in the cup competitions and stuff. You're going to get the odd team that's going to get the odd draw, or in Man United's case, the odd team that's going to pip them, especially when they're at home. I think in the Championship, I think is when these teams are going to sort of struggle. But I fully believe Arsenal Man United will be back in the Premiership in, well, not after this season, but after next season after, they'll be back in the Premiership. 100%. I think Tottenham and Chelsea will follow. Man City and Liverpool should follow. But like I say, they've still got, after this season, they've got another 3 seasons before they got the possibility of being back in the Premier League. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one works out now, guys. Let's have a look at the transfer activity that went on in January with Arsenal and United. If I remember right, not a lot went on, and nothing further has gone on, really. Nothing of significance anyway. All of it's from 2018. But I wonder if they're going to be bringing in any players on a free, because that's exactly what I would do. All the decent players that you can get on a free, that's exactly what I'll do, is get them players in and just make a squad good enough to win each league every season and keep the money so you can spend big in the Premier League. Because you get a lot of money, you throw the Premier League money in with the money you've already got, and you get 200 million to spend. That's when you're going to start rebuilding as a Premier League team. But there we go. The guys are heading it up in League One. Let's see how the season finishes. Okay, so there you go. End of the season, and as expected, the Vanarama National League was won by Man City, but Liverpool were close behind with just 1 point, 127 points, but they did go up as playoff winners. So that pretty much, as we say, went to plan. So Harry Kane, top scorer of the National League again. He'll be now playing in League Two unless he gets sold, and well, you'll see everything else then. Clean sheets would be one of the top 6 goalkeepers as well. Callum McManaman playing for Liverpool, I believe there. But there we go. Harry Kane was the top goal scorer, and that's it. Let's go and have a look at how the guys got on in League Two. Okay, so again, as expected, top 2 Chelsea Tottenham. Tottenham, I thought, may have clawed it back and actually won that league, but they didn't in the end. They ended up losing Carlo and Leyton Orient across the way. But they beat Chelsea twice and still didn't finish above them, so I think they're going to be disappointed with that one. But we'll look at the player stats. Top goal scorer was Igor Coronado. Sorry, I don't recall who he is. Chelsea player, of course. An advanced playmaker, finishing top scorer, with only finishing only 12 long shots, only 12. There's a weird one, but there you go. He's a top scorer. What can you say? Christian Eriksen, most assists as you'd expect. Pretty much most assists in every league he's been in so far. So let's go and have a look how the other two got on in League One. Okay, so as expected, Arsenal, Man United, both going up in League One. Burton getting themselves back into the Championship again. See who were the best players in that one. Alexis Sanchez, top scorer, absolutely no surprise there. Mesut Ozil, yeah. Ospina. So it's the Arsenal players who dominated that one. Arsenal winning the league, of course. Man United ended up losing 4 games. One of them was against Arsenal. Arsenal's only loss was against Mansfield. And then obviously a few draws between them. Obviously the points total is a mega points total for them both, but will they struggle somewhat in the Championship next season? I suppose that's something we'll have to wait and see. But obviously the Championship, we'll have a quick look, but we're not going to go too deep into it. Okay, so these are the teams that are going to, except for those 3 at the top and the 3 at the bottom, are going to be accompanying Arsenal. Man United. Wycombe managed to get themselves into the Championship. That's a strange one, but they've come back down now though. Peterborough in the Championship at the moment. I always find it quite fascinating how teams progress in the Championship. Well, in all of the leagues, to be honest with you, what teams fall out of the Premier League and how far do they drop. That's one thing we can monitor if you want to going forward. But rather than back into the Championship doing decently, any surprise packages there? No, not really. Millwall and MK Dons. Yeah, only thing, they dropped in reputation an awful lot. Maybe because of the standard teams in there. Obviously, if it means, I suppose, well, without the big six, they lost their most, the bigger reputation teams. They lost a lot of big reputation teams, and obviously gained a lot of small reputation teams. So maybe it's the reputation of the teams in there, which pretty much plays this one out. So we're in 2019 now, so 2018 they dropped down to 22nd. Will they drop down further? Or will they claw it back up? Name Arsenal, Man United are going to be in there. Anyway, let's go and look at the Premiership. Well, certainly didn't see that one coming. Derby County won the Premier League with 70 points. That's one thing, the Premier League is being won with very small points totals. And looking at this, any one of 5 teams could have won it going towards the end of it. I mean, wow. I mean, the Premiership has only dropped one place, which is quite miraculous, to be honest with you. Southampton have always done well. But I do think it looks as though the Premiership teams have lost a place. Let's go clarify that one. So as I feared, yes, England are 4th in the qualification places because of their coefficients. So that means they get 2 automatically into the group stage, 1 into the best place playoff, and then the same goes for the Europa League. So they're going to need to go up quickly. So let's have a little look at how the English teams have done in the European competitions this season. Okay, so the final is still to be played, Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain. Surprised that there's still no Spanish teams. So Spanish teams went 8 in the quarters. You see, no English teams made the quarters, and none made it into the first knockout round. So England are desperate to get their big six back. Man United and Arsenal need to hurry up and get themselves back and get back into the Champions League. But will they be able to have the squad to do it? Let's have a look at the Europa League. So Leicester are beaten finalists. This might be the thing that brings England back into, brings their qualification places back. Because Leicester were 3 teams in the semi-final, so the Europa League is an achievable goal for some of these teams. Quarter-final. Did any go out in the quarter-final? No. So the 3 of them that made it the semis made it the quarter-final. Crystal Palace went out there. So they're still doing well in the Europa League. They're just doing awful, absolutely awfully in the Champions League, which is where their coefficients are going. But next season, brand new season, Man United and Arsenal will be in the Championship. Chelsea and Tottenham will be in League One, and Man City and Liverpool will be in League Two. So we do say goodbye to the non-league now. Will the Vanarama League, the National League, will that have profited from having those teams in there for all those years? For 3 seasons, they've had 6, then 4, then 2 of the big 6 Premier League teams. See, the reputations for some reason ended up dipping. I wonder what effect it's going to have going through the leagues now, whether their reputations are going to go up or whether the National League will dip off even more. But as I said, we're saying goodbye to the non-league now, so we won't be tracking that one anymore. But will English football benefit from having those big 6 teams down in those divisions? At the moment, it looks like it's suffering really, really badly as far as UEFA coefficients are concerned. But it all depends on how these big 6 teams, well, if they all go back to the Premier League, because, say, the Man City and Liverpool will only now be getting into League Two. They've already lost all their best players. Well, not all of them, but a lot of their best players. They've made a lot of money, but are they going to attract the right players into those divisions? And are those players going to carry them through those divisions? Is their money going to last? So many questions that we're going to have answered over the next few episodes, but this was episode 6. Thanks all for keeping up with this series. I hope you're all still enjoying this. And if you're new to this, catch us up from episode 1 so you can see what's gone on so far. And feel free to leave some predictions in the comments below. And once again, thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Cheerio for now.